Hi and welcome to my webpage for the final of cartography this fall 2014. I'm starting here at the introduction page where this video is gonna be uploaded to, and it's basically introducing the project, which is also what I will do here. I'll have to keep it kind of brief because it's supposed to be 3 to 5 minutes, so we'll see. But I'll start with about us because this project wouldn't have been possible without the man here on the left. It's my professor in the Scandinavian department. His name is Timothy Tangolini, and the last 2 quarters we've done a research study together where we've been looking at Denmark and the population in focus, because there are data to be found about Denmark as a whole and how the population has changed over time, but there has been no population change on a smaller unit. But we've had data that we've been able to clean up and create shape files from, and are now able to look how population has changed. And these small sogens is what they're called, and I'll get more into that later. But anyways, for this analysis here, I've also looked at station data for Denmark. It's data about train station, about what year different stations were added to Denmark. So what we've been doing is that we've been overlaying these two layers to see if there is a trend of what happens to the population when the station is added. Is the population increasing? Is the population decreasing in the neighboring sogens or population units? So yeah, that's what we've been going over, and I'll focus on this analysis here where it says correlation, and the methods are there to read, but I'll go straight to the results. So here it says change upon station arrival. So here we see these population units, the sogens that I've been talking about. And the reason it's so patchy I'll go over in the discussion of this project. So we'll ignore that for now and also recognize that, like it says here, every second in the animation is 4 years, and the time increments for a population change are 1801 and some time periods through to 1921. So I'll play this real quick. And these red dots are the stations. So you get an overview of what happens to the population when the station arrives. So pretty cool, they're coming and they're coming. And the Sogen layer here in the background is changing, during these 8 time periods, so that's why it's not changing as often. And here to the right is also a legend that explains the colors that correspond to the map here. Anyways, I'll pause the video for right now and say that sure, this is neat, an animation like this, but it doesn't really go into any analyze, like you can't draw any conclusions from this. So rather what we've been doing is that we've been segregating the sogens that had a station arriving and looked at what happened to the population during that time period when it changed. And it's all summarized over here in a line graph where we see here is the classification, 3 different classifications, and what we're talking about in terms of station added and population change is, yeah, the station added. So we see that this line here is the different time periods that we already talked about, and here on the axis here is the percentage in population change. So we can tell that 1860 to 1880, for instance, there was a big increase for the sogens that had stations added compared to the mean here of all these population units that didn't have as high of a population change. So taken together, we can summarize and say that it looks like population units with stations added does indeed have a higher population change, population increase. So that's that. We're also looking at neighboring cells or neighboring population units, but we can't seem to find a correlation where it's a lower increase in population or higher increase in population in the neighboring population units to the population units with train stations added. And anyways, there are some more animations down here because I started to create this web page when I didn't know the awesomeness and the possibilities with leaflet. So the leaflet maps are added here in interactive maps. Here's just an introduction to them, and here we have a leaflet overview map. Supposedly it's loading here. So here it is. We have 3 different layers. We have train stations, and then we have train routes, and then we have the population unit here. And you can interact as much as you want with the map. If you click on a population unit, for instance, it's gonna say this zone is called Overlande, or whatever it may be called. You can also zoom in, very fancy. Anyways, I'll move on to the last interactive map I have over here. It says people per living establishment, and that's exactly what it is. Again, you recognize Denmark here, and here it says Hoover over a Sogen, as we know to be the population units. And what it displays is how many people on average lived in each living establishment during 1901. So it can be some interesting facts to be drawn from here, and I know it seems a little bit random that it's coming in with people per living establishment, but it's also part in our big data set that we managed to clean up and put in a useful a shape file. So yeah, and the access to the shapefile was supposed to be here on the downloads, but these files are so big, so I'll send them upon request. And I didn't keep this too short, but I think it gave a pretty good introduction to this web page and my project, my and Professor Tangolini's project. So thanks for listening and enjoy. Bye bye.